in, both my personalities were speaking at the same time. Get all the information. Some of them we actually submitted to the UIF, and then over the weekend there came a lot of changes.
Yes.
So are there any changes that anybody need to be aware of? Is there any way when an employer decides that he wants to advance his weekly or annual or monthly salaries or wages to his employees, is there any way that he can potentially track any of the payments that will be done?
You must please be aware there's a big difference in the UIF number. The UIF number they're requesting is a UIF number from the Department of Labour. It is not your UIF number linked to your SARS. So it's not the U number. There's a big difference between that number and the number that you are linked with at Department of Labour.
I think that's a very good point, and it's also very easy to spot. If you know your pay-as-you-earn number that generally starts with a 7,
yes,
you will see that the UIF number at SARS are basically just a U and then the number without a 7. Thank you for watching. Just a quick reminder to grab your gift bag for entrepreneurs in the link below. It's a gift bag for entrepreneurs to the value of 57,000 Rand, free of charge. All you need to do is activate it. Part of that gift bag for entrepreneurs is a voucher of 3 months for 3 months free accounting services from a company, Dryk Holdings. All you need to do is activate the gift bag voucher in the link below, and we will be in contact with you as soon as you've done that. Thank you for watching, and back to the interview. And thank you, Dale, for joining me today. That is my wing girl actually for the last almost 10 years. She will actually celebrate 10 years with Dryk Holdings in June this year, right, Dale? It's the 1st of June. 1st
of June, that's correct. 10 years.
So we still think about what party we will have, but we will definitely throw a big party for Dale in June. So Dale, about 2 weeks ago, I've done the very first Facebook Live and a recording for our YouTube channel regarding the various funds that's available, debt relief funds that's available, and one of those I've discussed was the UIF TERS disaster fund. And since my last talk, there was a last discussion on that. There was a lot of changes as well, and I know you've been very frustrated the last 2 weeks with everything going on. So I think let's just recap quickly before we go to the changes that came along over this weekend. Just a recap for anybody that's unsure of who may claim for the UIF TERS funds. Can you actually just give us an update of who can claim and when you can claim for this fund?
Okay, so what they've done now, instead of originally when we first started, we were going to do the UIF. Now they've taken that away, and everything is done through this TAS application, which is the UIF disaster fund, which is delinked from the main UIF fund. Now, if originally they sent only if you were to prove that you're in distress, that's been removed. Anyone may apply for the UIF TERS fund, irrespective of whether you have totally shut down or you're on short time or the short time, you're allowed to claim from this fund. It's open to all employees to claim from there.
Okay. So, but subsequently to that, there was a lot of, I know you've prepared for a lot of our clients, you prepared all the information. Some of them you actually submitted to the UIF, and then over the weekend there came a lot of changes. Yes. So are there any changes that anybody need to be aware of?
Okay, there's one big change, and that is the Excel template form that must be completed. That has changed. There's an extra block being added in where you can choose to say, do you want to pay the money to the employer, or to the bargaining council? Obviously, bear in mind that if you are 10 or more employees, that will automatically be paid to the employer. 10 and less can be paid to the employee, but they also have an option to say, rather pay the employer, just in case some people don't have bank accounts, or if you want to control the money going that the employees get paid correctly. So
yeah, I think that's one of my points actually, but later that's one of my frequently asked questions is exactly that. It's who will, when you submit a claim, who will actually receive the money. And like you just said, I think it's below 10, the employee gets the money, and it's
Yes,
more than 10, the employer gets the money.
that's correct. And the other thing has changed. Originally, they asked for the latest bank statement. It's not anymore that. It now needs to be a letter confirmation of bank account from the bank in the form of a letter. It doesn't need to be a certified letter, it just needs to be a letter confirming your bank account details. And also the letter of authority has changed, and that is now replaced with what they call a letter of undertaking, which has to go on a company's letterhead as well. So those are the three main changes that have taken place.
Thank you for watching. Just a quick reminder to grab your gift pack for entrepreneurs in the link below. It's a gift pack for entrepreneurs to the value of 57,000 Rand, free of charge. All you need to do is activate it. Part of that gift pack for entrepreneurs is a voucher of 3 months for 3 months free accounting services from a company, Dryk Holdings. All you need to do is activate the gift pack voucher in the link below, and we will be in contact with you as soon as you've done that. Thank you for watching, and back to the interview. So I've seen an article or email newsletter that I'm subscribed to, and I know you as well, that we receive, and actually there's some of the employers obviously trying to do a little advance on this on the UIF payments for their employees, and it's a very difficult thing, because you want to start assisting the employees, giving them advances, but on the other hand, when that go to the employee, and hypothetically speaking, really, when that money goes to the employee directly, that employee will receive for the same month 2 payments, one from the UIF and one from you. So it's very important to keep track on the amounts that actually been paid to your employees if you actually advance them. So this article actually advised that people actually sign acknowledgement of debt with their employees for the amounts that they're actually giving them advance for. But it's a very difficult situation, because I mean, we don't know when the money will be paid out, and that's also one of my next questions. But I mean, so in the meantime, the employer is trying to help as far as I can, trying to assist the employees. So I think that's my next question that a lot of people ask me is, when we submit for this lockdown that we're currently in, and let's say it will be extended, but let's say it don't extend, for this lockdown that you submit now, when can employees start, employers or employees can start expecting any funds?
There's no definite date being set of when payouts being made. The last I did read up, they said payments should start happening after 16th of April, but there's no turnaround figure to say how long it's going to take. I do know that once the application has been submitted and been approved, you then get back what they call an A3 letter, which will be a distribution letter to state who's being paid out and the value that's being paid out to each employee. I do know that on the sliding scale, that's 38 to 60%. If the sliding scale on their salary falls below the minimum threshold, they will still be paid the minimum threshold of 3.5. So they won't get less than 3.5. And those obviously on the higher earning salaries will not get more than 6.7. That is where it's going to lie lie. But there's no definite dates of when payouts are actually going to start. Like I said, the last I read, it said after 16th of April. Whether or not they're going to push this a bit more further and to say maybe only end of April, I have not currently heard any changes in regards to that.
The only thing from my side I notice is that there's actually almost nothing to zero correspondence from the UIF department. I know you said, I think this morning you told me you had some correspondence with the UIF department, at least at some acknowledgement of the submissions. But yeah, we struggle a lot as far as I know with communication.
It's a very generic. I did 2 applications, well 3. It's a very generic one. You just get an email to say application has been submitted, and that's all you get. And then from then it's just a waiting game to see what feedback they're going to get when you get feedback, you're going to get in the form of the next letter to say, listen, okay, it's been accepted. These are the payouts that's going to happen, and go from there. So that is not clearly defined yet of how that's going to happen. Come back to us yet.
If I can just go back 1 or 2 points where I've been explaining the employee-employer advances, etc. Is there any way when an employer decides that he wants to advance his weekly or annual or monthly salaries or wages to his employees, is there any way that he can potentially track any of the payments that will be done? It's probably difficult because you don't know any at all the payout dates, but is there any way that they potentially can track that?
The potentially is that you can track in the form of the letter that you should be getting back from the Department of Labor to state this is the payout's going to happen, and it'll be paid to the employer. You should be, or everyone should get that correspondence, so the employer has an idea, or at least been able to see, listen, that employee has been paid and the value of money they've been paid.
Okay, so I think that's a good point in the sense of, especially when anybody wants to advance any money to the employees, is that they can actually be when we do it in any case, you can assist them by tracking the actual payments and when they will receive that.
That's correct.
Maybe I've missed it, but regarding the payouts, you obviously have the layoff, and then you have the short time, 2 options for the disaster fund payouts. Do you know how they will calculate the short time payments?
The same principle. Everything's now under one, whether it's a total lockdown or a short time, everything falls under the TERS application. So everything's looked at on the same basis. It's no split application anymore.
But the payout could surely not be the same for when there's a layoff and when there's short time. I assume there must be a difference in payout. I don't expect you to have the answer, but that's one of the things that's been answered or asked to me as well.
Well, I'm not exactly sure if there would be a difference, because on the form they only made provision to say if you're going to pay any leave pay out, which I doubt everyone would. If anyone's paying leave pay to fill that in, maybe then they might bring it into equation. How they would work it out, I'm not exactly 100% sure how they would be done.
I assume though, but that's what they generally do with UIF maternity. The normal UIF maternity claims is that they either pay out the total amount that they can according to the capped amounts, and if you don't receive any income, and then also there's a different scale apportionment when you actually receive a portion of your salary, a pro rata portion of your salary. So I assume they will, but yeah, like I said, there's so little information out that we don't have all the answers.
Yeah, and they keep changing the perimeters of what that information is. That's what makes it very tricky. Is that every day the perimeters are changing about what is allowed and what is not allowed, and what you can and what you cannot do.
Yes, yeah, I know that's one of your biggest frustrations of changing the parameters, and also when you've done with all your applications, they actually change everything that you've done and now you need to redo it.
Yeah, you need to redo it. That's correct.
So right, I'm going to see if there's anything else that I've written down. Is there anything from your side that you want? I'm going to look at some questions right now in a moment on Facebook. But and on this note, if there's anybody listening here and listening right now, and you have any questions that I haven't covered yet, please feel free to put it in the comments below, and I will look at it in a moment, and then I will. They'll can assist us in doing a best to explain that or answer that. So, but sorry, Dale. In the meantime, if there's anything else that you feel that's important that you need to discuss.
One of the questions that you have is that the confusion regarding must I open a separate bank account? That's not necessary. The only time a separate bank account needs to be opened up is if it's going to be through the bargaining council. So that is not necessarily, you don't have to go and open up a separate bank account to do the payments. Only if you're being paid, if the bargaining council is going to be paying them out, then yes, that will be a separate payment. Also note that the TERS has split it. If you do belong to a bargaining council, you have to do your applications through that set bargaining council. They have their own application forms and their own procedure, and you have to send that with. with the bargaining council signed memorandum of agreement. And the other thing is, if you are 10 or more employees, but you do not belong to a bargaining council, there's still a standard memorandum of agreement that needs to be signed to go with. It's just a basic agreement between you as an employee and the UIF department. It's not that's just it. But that has to go with you for 10 or more employees. That's the other thing that also they are asking for as well now.
But that's a template that you have on file and that you obviously complete for each and every client.
Yes, they've given us these now 3 new memorandum of agreements split up. So we have, well, that is just a matter of importing, typing in the company's information and getting it to sign and to go with. So it's not too much of an issue now. They have fine-tuned that, at least for us.
Okay. Right. I think I've covered more or less all the questions that I know. So if you guys just give me 1 second and see if I can find any questions on here. Actually, hi Sally and Dale. Sally, say hello.
Hi Sally.
Banner van Stel said he's got a lot of time. He can watch all day long. And Douglas Danielson, nice to meet you after all the hard work.
Hi Douglas. And
even my mother-in-law is watching today, so now I must be on my best behavior. Carlo Townsend, hi Carlo, thank you for asking. Will the payments be based pro rata on the total number of weeks, short time period, or is the fixed amount, payout amount? So I think that's
the fixed amount.
Yeah, so Carlo, it seems like it's be the fixed amount, but yeah. If you already receive UIF because of retrenchment, do they continue to pay as office is closed and you can't sign? That's from Melissa.
If there's retrenchments, that you've done retrenchments, I know that the employee themselves, if you've given the employees, when you retrench them, you would have given them a UI19 form, which in there you would have indicated they've been retrenched. The employee can go on the U-Filing website and they can register themselves on U-Filing. They just need their email address, cell phone number that they register themselves with, and they can lodge the application online for retrenchment, because obviously they'll just have to upload the UI19 they received from the employer instead of having to go into the branch to do it. That is open and available for an employee to do on the retrenchment side.
So did they change the process that you don't have to stand in a line anymore? You can do everything online.
Online, that's correct. So they actually don't want anyone to stand in line. They want them to try. Yeah, sure. They want to get everyone to try and do it online. It's available for them.
It used to be available for any for all the maternity UIF claims, but it's great to see that they've also changed the process to normal UIF claims as well.
Yes.
Hi Andrew, Andrew the toy. Say hi to Jasper and Dale. It's great to see all our monthly accounting clients on here. Annette asked, must the employer still deduct pay as you earn UIF and bargaining council levies and provident fund if we are going to receive the TERS funding?
No, this UIF, as far as I know, this UIF money is strictly, there's no tax, no nothing on it. It's strictly separate thing. I know that I received a memo today from one of the bargaining councils to say that some of the provident funds that have actually been like on a hold, like a holiday, that there's no deductions had to be made for that in the meantime for the employees.
That's right. That makes sense. Hi Quibbers, thank you for watching. If there's anybody else that want to ask a question, I'm just going to scroll up and down, see if I've missed anything. Yeah, there's no new questions. I'm just gonna keep on going and just give you guys an update on the debt relief funds as well. I think that's important. Last time, again, about 2 weeks ago, that I've done the Facebook Live, there wasn't a lot of information available, and we weren't very sure about any of the parameters and criteria of everything and the payouts. So there is initially that sme.gov.za fund and portal that was opened. I haven't received a lot of feedback from that, and I'm also not sure that we will receive very quickly anything from that. But as far as my understanding is, there's no grant in that. There's only soft loans. So the two funds that everybody was looking out for was the Oppenheimer Fund and the Rupert Fund. So the Oppenheimer Fund came in the form of SAFT Fund, which they call it SAFT Fund, and it's been administered by the banks. So you can go to each and every bank that you are your bank manager basically, and you can request from them. It's also a soft loan, and specifically for your employees. So it's not something I really would advise anybody, and because you can get yourself in a massive debt in that. But it's a maximum of 750 Rand per week loan that you make as the employer, and it gets paid directly to the employee. And it runs for, I think it's 15 weeks. But I mean, if you do that calculation on your payroll, it can get a massive amount of debt that you start owing in effect to the government. So I would be very wary of going that route. And the other route is the Rupert Fund. That's the Sakuma Fund, Sakuma Debt Relief. There's a number of our monthly accounting clients that we actually assist with that application. It is currently closed, but I've heard via the grapevine that about a third of the applications will be approved, very guesstimate, and the rest are all non-tax compliant, non-compliant companies that won't qualify. I know the person that told me, one of the auditors there, actually told me a few people actually applied like 10 times. The same person applied about 10 times on the fund. So they totally overflood the fund, but it's not all, a lot of them are not valid funds. So at this stage, what from our side, from Dryk's side, for our monthly accounting clients, we really push hard to get all the annual financial statements for February 2020 up to date and ready. So when the fund actually opens, we can submit it as soon as possible within the next day or two. So that is basically the two funds that I would suggest. Additional to that, there was also a tourism relief fund, but it's very strictly, as far as I could see from the criteria, very strictly BE as well. So if you're not BE compliant and have a certain BE levels, you might struggle with that. But there is, I think it's about 50,000 Rand grant in there as well. But again, if you're in the tourism field, hospitality field, then I mean, there's no harm in trying to do the application. I just want to see if there's anybody else that actually asked a question as well. I see Rian Swanepoel. Hi Rian, I just want to see if I can find your question. Sorry, I missed that. My casuals are paid in cash and I do not have their banking details. They are registered with the UIF. How do I go about getting funds to them?
In that case, on the form, and the option is an option to choose option 2 to pay their money into the employer bank account, not to the employee. Then the money will pay to him, and then he can distribute the funds. How he would get it to them, being cash, you probably have to look at Send Wallet or something on those regards. Trying to pay it out, I would say, be the best.
Yeah, that's probably the only way. It's a good time to switch all your employees to bank accounts. In my opinion, it's a very unsafe, and it's also not very traceable in the sense of SARS, for SARS reviews or audits. So I would suggest Rian to try in any way to try to get your employees away from cash and definitely on a EFT basis. Rian, then just another question before I get to the rest. This recording will also be on my YouTube channel. That's what you're asking. So I record all the Facebook lives and it goes to my YouTube channel, Jasper Basson, Accounting, Tax and Habits. There's a lot of information on there as well. It's exactly what the name says, accounting, tax and habits. So it's a lot of thinking habits, productivity tools for entrepreneurs. And there's also a lot of accounting and tax information on there as well. So yeah, if you're not there, please follow that and make sure you get the updates as we release it. We try to release about two videos a week. There's also, just while I'm talking about the YouTube channel, there's also a very nice 1-hour tax talk that I've done with a network marketing group last week sometime, I think last week Tuesday. That's also saved. The whole recording is on there, the whole talk. So if you want to watch that, go for that. Then my mother-in-law says, Dale, you look very good. You look stunning, makeup and everything.
Lucky bunny.
Laura Murat, hi Laura, thank you for watching. Hi, I don't know if you answered this at the start of the discussion, but do you know how long it will take for the TERS application to be approved? And once approved, how long it will take for the payment to be made? So Dale, if you can just recap in short on that for us again, please.
We have no definite deadlines of how long it will take to be approved or when payouts get made. Communication is limited on that regard. Once an application has gone through successful, you just get an email back to say the application has been received, and they are obviously working on it. How long it takes from there to get the actual feedback to say, listen, they are now busy with the application. If they require more information, then from there, how long the payouts will take to get to the employees is still not totally 100% verified by anyone at the moment.
If there's anybody else that want to ask a question, I will go on for about another 5 minutes and just see if there's anybody else that want to ask a question. If you just want to say hi, where you're from, you can do that as well. I will give every regards to Dale as well. I'll just pass it on. So if there's anybody else that just want to wave to us and just say hi, please do so. Carlo Townsend, thank you for both for taking the time and the effort in this regard. It's much appreciated. It's a pleasure, Carlo. I think it's a great time for us as well to try to give back as much as possible. Part of my motto is and one of my words are generosity, and we try to live it in Dryk as well. We always try to give 10x value for our clients. We not always get it right, but most of the time we do, and we really strive to give back as much as possible. Werner van Zyl, dankie vir julle efforts. Pleasure, Werner. I will actually just speak to you in a moment as well. See you at 3. But yeah, it's a big pleasure of all our clients. It's really a pleasure to give back at this stage. Elmer Olivier, hi, thank you for watching. Let me see if I can find it quickly. 9 werkers, Dale, kan jy asseblief op ons aansoek opsie kies sodat ons self fondse ontvang en kan oorbetaal? Baie dankie vir julle hulp.
No
so
problem.
You can just answer that in English. I think again it's back to the 10 employees and more and or less. So I'm not sure if it's possible, Dale. Is that possible? Something that you can do?
There is an option on the form to choose to pay to the employer, so I can try that option and see if they'll do that. I'm considered that there are companies who people legitimately don't have bank accounts. So that option should be available, that they can pay the employer. The employer obviously must just keep record to show that they have paid the employees back out.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that's another thing that's very grey at this stage. If I'm right, Dale, but the rules are said that it's 10 or more payout to the employer, 10 or less payout to the employee. But again, there is space on the forms, but there's no definite answer. But we can only try. Rian Solomon, thanks. Will TERS accept the application without banking details confirmation for the casuals?
Well, the certification doesn't require banking details for the employees. The banking details for the company.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
to provide
for the applications of 10 of less, 10 and less.
Then then you have the option of putting in the employee's bank account details and option 2.
Okay, so if it's not available, as far as I understand it, then they will probably pay the employer.
Yeah, I can, for banking details, I use the company details.
Okay. Herf, thank you very much for comment. You just say Dale and Jasper super informative. Thank you, Irv. I really appreciate your comment. Andrew, what documents do I need for my employer in order to apply for UIF online? So that is basically a question of I am the employee. What forms do I need and what do I need to do? And I know you've answered a portion of that in the beginning, but if you can just recap that as well for us.
If you're an employee and you received a UI-19 because you've been retrenched or your contract ended, whatever story, you would obviously need your UI-19 that the employer would have made out. You would need your you would need banking details, probably in the form of a bank letters to prove your bank account details, which you'll all have to upload on the UIF site. They will give you, they normally give you very detailed instructions to say what is everything you do require and what must go with when you do the application online.
And just to recap, for any employee watching here as well, just to recap what Dale said in the beginning, if you might have missed it, like with maternity UIF claims, that can be done everything online. They've also changed the normal UIF claims to be done everything online. Is that correct, Dale?
That's correct. And so employees, say for example myself, I can now log on to U-Filing. I register myself. It's 3 quick, easy steps. Your ID number, email address, and cell phone number. And on there, I can go and lodge my claims. They've got 3 different claims: maternity, retrenchments, and you can go and you just choose the option that it's under, and you go and lodge your claim on there. And then they'll say to you on the side what you need, what documents you need. But it would definitely be your UI-19 proof of banking details. That's probably a copy of ID as well. Those are probably the most important documents that would need to go with.
Makes sense. Right, Rian Solomon, to see if there's any. Why are business owners not included in the TERS payout? Has this question from a friend. Well, as far as I understand, Dale can correct me in a moment. She's the expert, not me on this field. If you are a director or of a company, a member of a CC, and you are supposed to pay a monthly UIF as well,
Yes.
and you will be seen as an employee, and you will be able to claim.
That's
Is that
correct.
right?
That's
Okay.
correct.
So if we can go back to what I just mentioned a while back regarding the debt relief funds through SAFT that works with the banks, they are very strict about business owners, directors, family of directors, anybody of those sort can't get loans to pay the employees, so they can't really get a loan to pay themselves. But the UIF, that is the norm in any case overall. If the directors and of companies and members of CCs need to pay UIF, and they will be able to claim. So, but the proof is in the pudding, obviously. But we will see. Thanks. We'll keep record of payments to employees at advice. Already forward bank confirmation letters to you. Great. Right. Anybody else that just want to say hi or just want to comment? Just hi. Just wave to us. It's great seeing everybody on here as well, and see all the thumbs up and the comments. So anybody else that want to ask a question, go ahead. I will ask Dale in the meantime if there's any last advice she would want to give to any employers regarding the application.
Employers who are not part of our monthly clients but are doing the applications themselves, you must please be aware there's a big difference in the UIF number. The UIF number they're requesting is a UIF number from the Department of Labour. It is not your UIF number linked to your SARS. So it's not the U number. There's a big difference between that number and the number that you are linked with at Department of Labour. Please make sure that you input the Department of Labour's UIF number. It's always a 6-digit slash and then another digit behind. That's very important. If you put the wrong number in, if you use the pay as you earn, the UIF from SARS and not that number, your application will not go through. So please make sure you're using the correct UIF number on the application forms.
I think that's a very good point, and it's also very easy to spot if you know your pay as you earn number that generally starts with a 7.
Yes.
You will see that the UIF number at SARS are basically just a U and then the number without the 7 on the pay as you earn form. So that's the number that you mustn't use. you must use the number that's actually registered directly with the Department of Labor, with the UIF office. Yeah, it was actually something else that I've heard.
You don't have to. The other thing is you don't have to have a pay-as-you-earn number to register at the Department of Labor for the UIF. You can just have a UIF number. You don't necessarily have to be registered with at SARS and at the UIF department. If you have a UIF number, you can do your application as well. It's totally fine.
Rian Solomon, thank you for all the questions. I think there's a lot of people that also want the answers on this. So thank you very much for all the questions. The Bargaining Council requested the related info, which I have sent, but I have not heard anything yet. Should I go to the TERS? Should I go the TERS route? Don't know what to answer my staff. Thank you for your time and info.
Depending on which Bargaining Council he's with. If he's with the BIBC, then you have to work through the BIBC. That's the Building Industrial Council. I also know the Electrical Board have also got their own forms that you have to complete through the National Bargaining Council of Electrical Industry. The only Bargaining Council that you don't need to work through the Bargaining Council and you can work through the TERS is the National Road Freight Industry. You can do the application direct to TERS for that because they've got their own rule in regards to that. They are making use of leave. It's just a totally separate thing. So the National Bargaining Road Council, you can do the TERS application, but from BIBC and the National Electrical Board, those applications are done through the thing, and they are their own forms. There's one big spreadsheet you complete for that, and then the letter of authority that goes with.
He just mentioned now he's at the Laundry Bargaining Council.
Well, if they have asked you, if they've emailed him and asked him to complete the forms from their side, then it has to go through their Bargaining Council. You just have to follow up through them, because otherwise if he does a TERS application, he's going to duplicate the application, which will cause a delay, and I wouldn't advise to do that.
Yeah. So I think, I can't remember exactly when you logged on, but that's also one of my very first question to Dale was when the payouts will actually happen. And it seems like everything will only happen after lockdown. And who knows when lockdown, my suspicion is that lockdown will definitely not be another 2 weeks. My suspicion is, and I don't really want to say it out loud, but my suspicion is end of May at the very, very quickest. I know that's very depressing, but yeah, I think we need to gear our businesses as if we won't get out of lockdown at all. I think it's a good time for our businesses to actually reflect. And I know some businesses are very difficult to do, but I think it's a very good time to reflect on your business and see how you can add value online, and how you can actually a part of your business to work online and to be of service online. Right. Anybody else that wants any other questions? Dale, do you have any other tips that you want to advise before we log off?
No, I think that's about everything. The one thing they can do is just please make sure that if you are completing the form and you are requesting that the money's been paid to the employees, please make sure you have the corrected, updated employees' bank accounts. The last thing you need is for money to go into an old bank account that's been closed off for whatever reason. So just make sure that you have the correct updated employees' bank information. That's one of the biggest things that's going to play a role. If money for those who are 10 or less, and the money's been paid to the employees.
Awesome. While I'm waiting for some potential more questions, guys, please, like I said, please comment and ask questions if you like it, if you want to. While I'm waiting, I just want to quickly remind everybody that I haven't heard this before. So if you heard it, just ignore it. But we have a gift back for entrepreneurs to the value of 57,000 Rand. It's free of charge for any entrepreneur. You can go to the entrepreneursa.com website, and you will find everything there to actually activate the gift back for entrepreneurs. Part of the gift back for entrepreneurs are 3 months free monthly accounting services voucher. So if you're not yet a client of Dryk Holdings, you can activate that voucher. And because it's coronavirus lockdown, we actually extended that 3 months to a 4-month period. So you will receive 4 months free monthly accounting services, and you will have the availability of my whole of everybody that's in Dryk. So you will have me available for consulting. You will have Dale that's on the live with me right now. She's my monthly accounting manager, working with a number of clerks together with her, and you have access to all of them as if you're a paying client. So we're really just trying to give a lot of value back to the whole community. So it doesn't matter where you are in South Africa, whether you're in Cape Town or Gauteng, we can assist you. Everything can be done electronically these days. Most of our meetings are on Zoom electronically. So if you're in the need of assistance, if you at this stage you are at the place that you want to move your accounting book, feel free to speak to us, but also go to entrepreneursa.com and activate that give back for entrepreneurs, and activate your 3 months free monthly accounting services that we will give you one additional extra. Okay, right. So Dale, I don't think there's any other questions. I really appreciate every comment, every like, and every question, and I hope we've been of service to you today. Thank you, Dale, for your time. I know I know I'm super busy as well at this stage, but I know you are super busy as well. I'm getting emails at 11 o'clock and Skypes at 11 o'clock in the evening. So yeah, from my side as well, I believe that it's a good time for employers and employees to show our value, and it's also a good time for a business to show the value to their clients as well. So I believe being generous out of your comfort zone as much as you can, because then you open abundance around you. So, but the bigger picture for us as well. Thank you, Dale, from my side as well. I really appreciate your assistance, and I promise you, for those that came on late, Dale is with Dryk for 10 years. In June, the 1st of June, she will be with Dryk for 10 years. So first of all, we're very proud of that, and thank you for all your assistance in that time. And you're almost like family already. So we will have a big party for Dale at this stage. And yeah, just lastly, I think there's another question from Rian. My lease is ending end of May, and I am not looking at extending. So should I apply for relief? What is your thoughts on this? Well, I believe any business owner need to do their best to apply for the Sakuma Debt Relief Fund, because there is a 25,000 grant as part of a soft loan, and the soft loan is in a portion of the first year is interest free, and from there to 60 months, it's I think it's like prime minus 5% or something. There's a very low interest rate loan, soft loan. So it's a very difficult answer in the sense of a lease agreement that you need to extend. I think we all need to review life overall and see what the universe are trying to tell us, and if it might just be that you need to find your ikigai in some other place, but yeah, a lease agreement is a difficult thing. I'm sure landlords are also, obviously the landlords also are like the banks and all the other credit providers are under the watchful eye of everybody, and I would suggest, if you want to proceed, potentially look at getting a shorter lease agreement with your landlord. So in place of signing another, let's say 3 years lease agreement, try to sign a very short period of time lease agreement, let's say 6 months on the most, and rather take it month to month from there, and then potentially see after that, because I believe 2020 in total will be a very difficult year going forward. I think we need to think out of the box. I think it's all about giving at this stage, and not a lot about receiving. But the beauty of the universe is the more you give, the more you get in abundance. So it's something that any entrepreneur listening now, I think that's my final words on that. But be so generous that it scares you, because in that place you will receive abundance. Right, Brian, if there's anything else that you want to ask us, you're more than welcome to send me your details on in the inbox on Facebook. Inbox me there. I know we just connected this morning, so send me all your details, and I will get you in touch with Dale and my team for any assistance. And if you have any other questions, obviously as well, just send your details and we will be in contact with you. Thank you very much for everybody listening. And yeah, Dale, I think I'm done. I've said everything I've done. I've asked all my questions that I want to ask you, and all the frequently asked questions that I receive from everyone. So yeah, if there's anything else, even if it's just a nice goodbye, anything else you want to say?
No, I think that's about covered. But like, if anyone has any other questions, they're more than welcome to email. And it was nice chatting to everyone, and I hope we could have been some help with clearing up some of the misunderstandings and all the changes that have happened the last couple of 2 weeks.
Thank you very much, and thank you for watching. And remember, if you want that 4 months free monthly accounting services, go to entrepreneursa.com and activate it there. If you struggle, just shout, just inbox me, and I will assist you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon again.
Just a quick
Bye-bye.
reminder to grab your gift pack for entrepreneurs in the link below. It's a gift pack for entrepreneurs to the value of 57,000 Rand, free of charge. All you need to do is activate it. Part of that gift pack for entrepreneurs is a voucher of 3 months for 3 months free accounting services from a company, Dryk Holdings. All you need to do is activate the gift pack voucher in the link below, and we will be in contact with you as soon as you've done that.